I'm losing my voice. It was a long day yesterday, Jackie and Vince. I'm struggling, fighting for life.
It's fair enough, dude. I just thought I took your breath away, Vince. Well, Vince, Rich.
Well, hang on.
It's all going on. It's all going on.
Love is in the air. Right, I'll leave you guys to it then. I think you got a cast to do.
Right then. Well, let's get into it. Let's see how it goes. I genuinely think there is upset potential on this one. Richard.
Yeah, me too. I think out of the games that we had today, obviously this is our last best of one, and then there's another 4 after this. It's still going to be a long day of CS. I thought this was the one that had the makings of the highest probability of an upset.
Yeah.
Because like G2 against NiP, that was pretty straightforward, etc. But this, Sashi, they just have that qualification bug within them. Like, they seem to really up their level. I think Lucky is going to have a very good tournament here as well. A super capable and experienced player at this stage. And Big, they're so up and down, man. Like, it's really hard to gauge how consistent this team actually is.
Yeah, Sashi, the meat company. What can they get done here? Oh, Cabby's chopping them up. The blade's pulled out, hacking them to bits early. There's the USPs dealing damage. But for Lucky, it's anything but in this round. All tabseN. He's made some big plays in these kind of positions over his career. 1 versus 3. They don't clear him. tabseN tapping, but Iceberg won't go down easy. Survives, and the Sashi ship course corrects as they take their pistol. God, scrappy round though.
Yeah, it really was. Your eyes were lighting up seeing tabseN behind pillar going
I know,
unchecked.
dude.
So many times over the years he's pulled those plays out. Nearly one more time. But this is the thing, you can't overlook Sashi. I didn't realize Iceberg was so jacked.
Yeah, dude, he's built, right? God damn. The Danish pop-off. Bit of giving it, bit of salt. But you can't have Sashi's meat without the salt on top, mate. That's how they play CS. And the Julies right now, look at the fights you're taking. Lucky with the MP9, they're about to run into him. They've got no idea how aggressive they are on this one. They want to get through this with ease. I mean, the Glocks at least bite back for 1. It's only an MP9. Don't let it get too awkward.
Yeah, low for CS2 as well, though, so unlikely he's going to have too much more impact in this round. This is where they move back into middle, where Cabby has the M4. Additionally, Quez having a quick look outside of the A main position with his SMG, just looking for intel. I think a big part of this map is going to be CS2 for me. A guy that once he came back to Big, he had a very rough go of it for the first 3 or 4 months, and he's somewhat stabilized at this point, posting up bigger numbers. I think he's going to need to work pretty hard. Cabby with a cleanup. 3 kills in the round, 5 in total for him. And Sashi take a pretty straightforward 2-0 lead.
I always do love watching Crimbo on this map as well. He feels incredibly comfortable every time I've seen him play it in terms of his own individual skill. Great read with the angles, the fights he takes. Obviously, his footwork with the AK as well can really be felt in these kind of games. If I'm honest for you, mate, as well, like Rigon, right? A man that's made majors 3 times, all of them with Bad News Eagles. I think ever since that sort of fell apart, we've never seen that same level of skill for him. I don't really know if he's slotting in on this team, Vince. I feel like it's not the same man that we saw at one point, the heights he was able to reach.
I agree. I think the stats also backed that up, Jackie. Like, you look at his overall sort of stats for the last sort of 3 to 6 months, and he's below a 1.0 rating. But kind of worse than that, his impact is down like a 1 rating. His cast, which is kills, assists, etc., is down. Kills per round is down. Like, across the board, like, his stats are struggling. There's just no 2 ways of getting around that point. And a player, when he joined Big, there's quite a lot of hype around him, like being this rifler that could really add lots to the team, but it's Cabby right now that's kicking things off with 2. tabseN and Rigon, the man we were just talking about, have been backed up and removed, but CS2 keeping this round alive just about. Iceberg is wrapping around the back, though, with his MP9.
Call this one Titanic for Big, as they're about to be sunk by the Iceberg in the back line. The MP9 delivers for 2. The fact it was uncontested trades as well, with those first picks out from Cabby. Like, what's going on, dude?
Exactly. As much as we were bigging up Eklot in the last RMR for always being there, if they lose a player, they trade. They lose a player, they trade. You can't say the same for Big. And even then, CS2 got the kill back, but he lost like 80 of his health to Cabby as well. Like, he's had a crazy round. 237 ADR right now off the back of these 3 rounds. And just like that, Crimbo has to try and just go back into his shell and save on to the AK. Sashi off to a phenomenal start here. A 3-0. AK traded to Mr. as well. AWP save. The second AK's just been picked up on Quez.
Counter-terrorists win.
Rough opener if you are Big.
And for Sashi, you know, this year overall, obviously post-player break has been a bit more limited, where there was only sort of the one event, like Dust was saying, with EWC, the 10th, 11th there. But the big point about this year for them has been the quantity of events they've been able to qualify through online qualifiers, when you've got to grind out those games, you know. It feels like they've got so much sort of stamina over the course of a day, Vince. They're never a team that struggles late on. You know, 2 best of 3s, 3 best of 3s. They're still grinding. Play a ton of online CS all the damn time. 135 maps played online post-player break. Puts it into perspective. Crimbo, though, I was saying, the man can really deal some damage. And in a round like this, being the star AK, the hero of the round, he's got to do just that. Iceberg again goes out for the info play on the push towards the extremities. Quez getting a little bit suspicious that no one's outside of A either, so they can lock it down and stick to the defense. Big wanted to cut noise, make them think they've wrapped off, but they're still here. They're still coming.
Yeah, maybe a bit slower, maybe with a few swerves and twists, but they're still moving forward. For the time being, though, they are respecting that smoke put down on the main side. But they're not completely putting all their eggs in that basket. They're deciding to filter out towards the site. And again, Sashi so aggressive with these flanks on the CT side of Anubis, consistently having players around the back. Last time it was Iceberg. This time it's Mr. perched up on the A mid-portion of the map, watching the back, trying to call to the rest of his teammates when the rotation comes through. And Lucky holds on with the AWP. 2 kills go his way through the Molotov, and there's the third. No one there to counteractively kill him. The easiest of rounds for Sashi. And that's going to build the confidence to tremendous heights.
Yeah, you're in great stead now. No trades, no nothing. Around Big, we're hoping to find some sort of move in with the opening pick going their way off Crimbo's AK. But the longer it went on, it was all Sashi with some nice rotations and great holds with the AWP there on Lucky. Nothing lucky about that one. Round 5, back in. You do finally get the AWP on that T side, and tabseN's looking for the opening pick, trying to support them for the setup. Nades have been good, though, from Sashi up to this point.
Oh, CS2 has his hands on the AWP finally. The way that Sashi have been so oppressive, though, and constrictive in terms of their rotations around the back, and really good utility usage, just highlighted with the HEs, the Molotovs. Not sure how many opportunities that CS2's realistically going to get, though, with the AWP. Have to change their style quite a bit. He's positioned just outside of B main for the time being, but that's JDC on the swing. The entry that they've been waiting for desperately. His first kill of the match so far. And it does immediately force back Sashi from those up-close angles on Korn and Pillar, on Glyph. This allows the T's now to make moves into the site, but they're holding fire for the time being. They're waiting for that smoke to fully dissipate. And Crimbo will be moving back around in Korn to join the rest of his teammates on the post plant.
So bomb's going down now. Only 2 players on the site. You can blow the smoke open. Not enough to give him crystal clear vision in. And the vision of the round, it'll be an outcome with Big walking away with their first on the board, as the CTs don't want to run the risk of going for a late retake on this. It'd be very rough for them. So you call it quits with no impact found on the nades of the smoke. 4 weapons will be saved for Sashi, and Big do finally get themselves on the board. And for JDC, I was a little bit worried for him as well. Felt like Mr. had been able to find the angle there, obviously dip back through the flashbang. You had no nades left, but he just wins the raw duel. And the round goes with it.
Yeah, an AK on top of it, but obviously Sashi in no position to go and reclaim that from the corpse of Mr. A Big finally strike. Sashi with a very quick call for the save. Keeps their economy looking good for quite some time as well. And my concern kind of comes in. Like, yeah, Big, you got success. JDC with a really nice entry frag, but I need to see more before I begin to believe in this half. It's also a half as well where you need to post up as many rounds as possible on the T side of Anubis. So the pressure is certainly on for Big, and they're going to change things up. No longer outside B, they're ramping up the speed, and CS2's going to get straight into A main. Flashbang alongside him, wants to look for the entry, and gets onto Lucky.
That's beautiful. Great pace, good pathing, fantastic control of the AWP on the flick up. Iceberg this time unable to find any impact as he was shut down by Rigon, his first kill of the game as he welcomes himself to the server. 1 by 1, uncontested kills. I was in a similar mindset of you. It felt like it wasn't really a test in the last round, that it was just that one play that was required of them. Here they're passing with flying colors, but there is still 2 CTs left, and they've got nades to slow this right down. Queez, if he can make a play on the back of the body side, maybe they can still salvage this one. How's it going so wrong, Big? They're feeling queasy off the back of that. Sickening plays, and Sirison trapped in the back. Low on health, 1 versus 2.
Up close with her. Oh, they've heard it. They know exactly where he is. They double swing him. Quez with 4 kills in that round. A hero play. And Big are sent reeling out. Everything was looking like it was going to be the easiest round of the entire map, potentially.
Yeah.
And then Queez just destroys everybody.
Oh, the timing of it all. So heavily focused on the man towards camera. Caught with the nades out. It went on for so long. Oh, mate.
He deserves every second of it.
Oh, yeah, fair enough. Like, it was unreal. It's just a crazy pop-off.
Oh. But then on the other side, the elation, the jubilation, the hype. And Big are like, how did we just lose that round?
Like, where's that gone?
Like, our economy's now in the bin again, and CS2 got this beautiful first pick, a flash into the Peacon platform. You're back into AKs, but you've lost a lot of the momentum that you just built up off that last round. And you even said, like, the previous round, JDC got a test, he passed it, the save comes in. Well, you had another test there, close out the round, and you failed epically.
Yeah, they would be real disappointed with that one. You got to shake it off instantly. Hearing the screams echoing through the halls as Sashi get fired up, whereas Big had to really even instigate themselves back in. Once again, gravitating towards the A side with so much information gathered. Look at the push from Iceberg. He's going for this time and time again. Mate, he's getting the bleed right round the back. Yeah, they get the tag onto the close man here towards the setup on the site. No nades left for him. They're both trying to play anti-flash. They're buying time for the backstab, but it feels like they're getting ready to go on this one. He's got to speed it up a bit. Runs because of it and taps and covers the cross.
So much better. It looked like Sashi had found another winning formula, though, with that rotational play. A tabseN being able to take him down, just spinning around and landing the headshot. This is maybe where Sashi are getting a little bit predictable. Because they have done this 3 or 4 rounds now, even with rifles, knowing they'd be up against a full-on investment. So this time, Big are like, hold on, let's just keep one player watching our back all the time. Make sure we're not getting backstabbed. It's a great way of alleviating the pressure on the CT side of Anubis, though. But if you are doing it time after time, the predictability is going to be there. Molotov misses for tabseN. But it's all about trying to draw away the CTs over onto B and allow the plant to come in. Lucky has nailed the shot. Rigon may stand his ground and deliver. But more importantly, Big is just going to go to A site and get the plant down. Nice shot again from Lucky. Is there a way back in right now? The bomb's just getting planted with 7 seconds. He knew if he denied that, the bomb could have very well won the round for him. But instead, he goes from being proactive to now reactive, from aggressive to defensive, and he's moving into the arms of Rigon. The timing may favor him as the jump up comes through. But no AWP will be saved. The second round for Big.
Really scary how tight that was in the time, though. Like he was summarizing there, like going through his mind, he's just thinking, if I deny this, it's still a round win. Go in for it. You're not going to get the replant back off. Ooh. In the end, opted to try and save the AWP. Nearly sets himself up for the no-scope. He was posturing for it as well. Couldn't quite decide if it was AWP or 5-7 territory for the save. So Rigon with a couple of kills to close it towards the end. And Sashi, 5-2, still leading on their CT side campaign, obviously for Big. A lot of pressure on them to rack up the rounds on their T side. Cabby eats the nade early, little bit of damage, about 12 HP taken off of him.
Yeah, just having a quick look across there. Big's win percentage on CT side is 40%. So these T rounds are so incredibly valuable at this point. Get as many as you possibly can. At this point, it's 7. Don't expect them to have that kind of consistency, but they can make a giant leap towards that mark. If they win this round, it would be Sashi into an eco. Flash is good. As the hero Quez is forced away and funneled off, but a parting incendiary will keep it as a bit of a stalemate for the time being. The T's, though, are making moves in middle. They're going to get Cam's control sooner rather than later. Cabby has gone down, and that opens up business. This puts so much more threat on the shoulders of Lucky and Quez, and Crimbo has dealt with both of them accordingly.
Bomb has been planted.
Rigon sees Iceberg as well on the flick. So looking to deny anything for Sashi on this round. Fast taps, good adjustment shot, takes a bit of damage, but he'll be happy with what he wanted out of this one. So take a clean round here on the T side. Break open the bank for Sashi and leave him in a real rough spot. Starting to get a bit of momentum back. Good to see Crimbo coming alive as well with the AK there. Beautiful shots with the AK. Manhandles them on entry towards the A site.
Saved MP9 then, it will be. That's it though, and they don't hunt too hard. Give that as a bit of a consolation prize. Nice entry from tabseN again. And here's Crimbo doubling up. A player that we highlighted on the desk that you were discussing as well, Jackie, is a player that certainly caught your eye on this map. It's only his 3rd and 4th kill, but both of them very important ones.
So just the MP9, everyone else on the USPs and the single 5-7 for Cabby. You're grouping up, hoping to run out, bait out the AWP shot. There's a second in command there with the AK to deal with them though. They couldn't get close to make it awkward. Or maybe there's still a bit of a chance to make it more expensive though. I mean, 5-7 snapshot. You've got to concede one of those guns to scavenge the AWP now, late round. Only 32 HP left on him. He can drop down, nearly catches the timing on tabseN. But they find it. 4th round in the end for Big. And it's crazy to think, for Big as an organization, 7 major appearances over their tenure, but they haven't been back to the majors since Rio back in 2022. So it's like it's been so long in Counter-Strike.
Yeah, it's been another team kind of similar to NIP, but maybe not quite that bad, to be fair, with this kind of revolving door at times with players in and out. Obviously, this is CS's second spell within the organization. Rigon pretty new. JDC was the player that people were so desperate for from the German scene to join across, and I think it's safe to say it's not quite worked as well as they're hoping for. We do find them in a bit of, not necessarily a golden patch of form, but at least on the up. Off the back of CS's improved performances as of late, that's always going to be a nice boon. Oh, they push through. They try the pop flash into peak, but Rigon on the close angle. Make sure that tabseN's life is not deemed forfeit. It is worth something. And that's going to funnel away some of the CTs over on the A site. In actual fact, it's Cabby that gets aggressive. Tries to go on through on the middle and get some intel for his teammates. Rigon's keeping them busy. Effectively a 3 versus 1 about to kick off on A site. And it's that man again, Quez, this time with the FAMAS to try and withstand all of this aggression. But he just keeps himself alive for the time being.
It's not about the hero play, it's about buying time for the rotate in for his team. Different round to last time we saw him pop off. 36 seconds on the clock as the digits are punched in and the bomb will go down, but this has afforded Mister's rotate and he's close by. Crimbo, great angle for him to play off of here. And you're watching for the run out. Bit by bit, they walk on down. Crimbo is trying to reposition. Caught off guard. Focus on Heather, but he's making out at just the wrong time. Good for one shot, but nothing else. Retakes clean from Sashi. Straight back into winning ways. They will get a sick from this. And that's Mister with a 3K.
Important 3K, but Queasy also got like a couple of flash assists on that one. So from beyond the grave had his impact. And if Big thought that they had a fast track to a 7-5, they are sorely mistaken. Put back into reality. Have enough funds to come straight back through, and they probably have enough funds for the rest of the half, to be fair, with 3 players still looking pretty solid in terms of their investments. But when you consider as well, Jackie, 33.3% win rate for Sashi on their CT side of Anubis, they're already way above maybe what they were anticipating. Flashbang pretty good. CSN up close though. Missing out on the flick, but not fully punished with his life. And elsewhere it's the other AWPer that spins in. Mr. knew that he was low and tried to finish off when he started, but it backfires, and this time Crimbo is the aggressor and Cabby the victim.
3 players left on that CT side here into the 11th. Iceberg up close and personal. Molly round the back. He's able to situate himself ahead of it. Nade will clear, but it's not really going to do enough damage onto him. He wants to pivot out and fight towards dark, but he's paranoid about the peek from site side. Meanwhile, the wallbang softens them up. Now he goes in. Such low health on tabseN. Tap down. You started the round with the AWP, but can you close it? Smoked off, restricted. And he had flashbang in his pack pocket. And no real time to play with. Giving it up. They're going to jump straight on the bomb for the defuse. That'll be a 7th here. Mate, any time it feels like Big have an opportunity. They've got a chance to close down a round. It's going so wrong.
Man, Iceberg just pulled off a sick 3K there, just spinning across like a turret, like a laser beam. A1S ripping through 3 and basically outright wins the round. Here is the play. First one through the smoke. That second and third kill are exquisite. No idea what he's saying. But I'm sure it's epic.
Oh, mate. He's giving it. He's absolutely giving it. He wants them to hear these screams. Great set of pipes on him.
His team is like, you do know that Big are German, right? They don't know what you're saying.
Oh, 7-4. I mean, Sashi, they might not know what they're saying, but they're certainly feeling the impact of it. Bloody hell, mate. Any more? An 8th round here for Sashi, maybe? We're saying this is definitely like the biggest potential upset game. It feels like it's going that way. Sashi always grinding out these results. You can never really count them out in these kind of events. Oh, blow open the smoke. A little bit deep on that one, but it'll tickle the toes of tabseN.
Nice shot from tabseN there. Missed the court. Trying to get aggressive through on the canals. There may be more where that came from, but you got a 2-player setup in middle. Cabby with 2 nearly. Gave him too much credit, but it did a lot of damage to JDC. And if he were to walk out slow through middle, he'd be a dead man. Barrel the gun, though, protruding around the corner, betraying Iceberg. And Crimbo silences him in more than one way for this round. Lucky in the meanwhile, though, with a good flick, but going to find out that no one else is on the B site for the time being, although the bomb is trickling through in the hands of JDC, and with 20 seconds, there is no opportunity for a rotation. He has to fully commit to this site. But Lucky's backed off. He's given it up.
Repositioning on the wraparound. Here's the audio now. Bomb going to be going down there. Just a sliver of time to commit to that one and plant. So the 2 versus 3. Incredibly awkward now for Sashi. It felt like it could have been another round to the greater, but it's all down to the retake. So many nades to play with, but can you actually get them off to situate yourself into a better position? On the walk up, you're going to be spotted. Barrel seen, visual contact, walk out, slow peek. No room to breathe on that one. Clap straight back from Lucky, but the trade from Crimbo is good with the AK. So Big don't give away another round for free to Sashi. It will be 7-5 at the half. But some ridiculous rounds to win. You think about the nature of some of the ones they picked up there.
man, I can guarantee you, if you ask Sashi to take a 7-5 lead on CT side, it would snatch your hand off.
Oh, yeah.
Because, as I mentioned before, both teams, as is often the case on Anubis, T side's your best half, but Sashi's CT side is really grim. They've played this map a lot, by the way. 16 times. And as I mentioned before, 33.3% win rate on their CT half. So they have just played by far and away their worst half. I think it's actually their worst half in the entirety of the map pool. Or definitely up there. And they got 7 rounds out of it. That's an amazing outcome, all things considered.
Looks like potentially an issue there for CS2. Called over the admin. Headsets off. So probably a few moments before we get back into the second half. And obviously you touched on, right, saying it looks like there's been some better form for Big as of late in terms of the player break. But when you delve a bit deeper, put it under the microscope. ESL Challenger, that was a second place. Obviously, big hurrah there. Feels like, yeah, okay. Starting to get everything working out. This roster can deal some damage. Following that, 13th, 16th for Season 20 of Pro League. 9th, 12th for IEM Cologne. 9th, 12th. Blast Premier 4 groups. I believe we saw them play that one as well, but there was some rough outcomes, bro. And for them, you've got that one great result. The others, not so much. It feels like it has been a little bit dry for them following that. And they'd need some shades of Atlanta-level plays here on the server today. Because Sashi showing up massively, obviously, in terms of their major appearances. It's only the one for Lucky. That was back at PGL Stockholm 2021 with Astralis, of course.
Yeah, that for me is the biggest reason why every time I look at this team, I want to believe in them. I love tabseN. I've been watching his career unfold. Super cool guy.
Yeah.
Super talented. I personally believe that maybe he transitioned into the IGL a little bit too soon in his career. I think he still had many years ahead of him as a star player, but it's what he wanted, and ultimately that's all that counts. And so I'm always going to want to see him do well. And it never felt like Big really lived up to that mantle. Obviously, you had like God B in the mix for a while as well, where he was kind of took tabseN underneath his wing. The two of them worked together for a long time. But they're just so damn inconsistent, man. Like, as much as you look at a team like VP, for example, as being up and down and up and down, they've had a lot more ups than downs, you could say, compared to a team like Big, where you just mentioned there, it's like one decent result followed by a lot of disappointments. That's what makes it so hard to read them coming into the RMR, because like you want to believe in them. You look at their roster, you look at like the upward trend of players like CS2, and you think, right, well, they definitely could make it through. But then there's always that little doubt in the back of your head that there's like, but they could also go out 1-3. I think they've got a map in them at least. Like even if they do lose here.
Surely.
But you're thinking they could go out 1-3. They could be one of those 2-2 matchups in the final day of the proceedings that just lose out by the narrowest of margins. They're that kind of team for me.
No, I agree, man. Oh, there's so many nightmares that go on for them. And for Sashi, like these kind of games, weirdly, are sort of their bread and butter. It's the stage, it's the LAN environment where it feels like it all falls to bits, but they always qualify to these kind of events. They always make it, right? Obviously, a lot more prestigious with it being the RMRs outside of like grinding through an online qualifier for a one-off event, wherever it may be. You know, this is real pressure, but it kind of is their environment. It's where they do their best work, when they're all sat together in a room, feeling like they're just able to play their own game. You imagine even a lot of the pop-offs as well. Like, you don't know how far away they are from one another in terms of the rooms, so you're kind of just giving it for the sake of you want that energy for yourself. You know, you're having those moments for you rather than them necessarily hearing everything, especially with the headsets you've got. You're not really going to be hearing much audio whatsoever outside of what's going on inside of the game.
I'm pretty sure the rooms are very close, because afterwards you see them all fist bumping and stuff, like pretty soon after.
Maybe just down the road.
So I think the rooms are fairly, and you also, we've seen this a lot over the Americas, the first EU and now the second EU RMRs. It's like the players are kind of sat up in their chair and they're looking towards the wall as they're shouting.
Yeah.
Which suggests that they're very close to each other and you can actually hear each other, especially when the hype is like really kicking off. That's speculation, but I think so. Now, it looks like CS2 might be okay. The admin has backed off, and it looks like he's got Counter-Strike up. There we go. We're good to start our second half with Sashi in the lead by 2 rounds. But as we were discussing before, Big sometimes do struggle on this half, and so it feels like these opening 3 or 4 rounds are going to have to be solid for their prospects if they want to come back into this.
Yeah, big pistol. Sorely required. Set of Julies in the hands of Crimbo. He's damn good with them. Hits them with the Wild West maneuvers time and time again. Anti-flash setup, setting themselves in a close angle. They've read this one. They expect the play, but it doesn't matter as Sirison slays with the USP. Good for 2. Only Lucky biting back. They've got the great opener, Vince. It's just about the close.
Exactly. Iceberg, nice shot though. I was going to say, like, it's pretty audacious for CS2 to peek out by himself. There was no real backup. But the same can be said from JDC. Probably didn't anticipate the connector push to be that fast. But it's put a lot more pressure on tabseN, who will deliver in air. Lucky. Nailed. The bomb drops to the deck. But Mr. is keeping them in with a fight before tabseN rips it away. Down to a 1v1. Iceberg's had a lot of big rounds, but it is Rigon this time that comes through clutch, and Big take the second pistol.
Flip the switch there. Rig on as he takes that one. Winning out in the 1v1. This was the crazy opening play. I felt like they had the call for it as well, how they were set up. He ran straight on in, rinses them with the pistol. Going all the way down to a bitter 1v1 with Iceberg. Doing some great damage with the Glock. 2 impact frags for him, but can't convert it into the round win. So trailing by 1 round now is Big. Within touching distance of getting back in charge of the game. Up close for the MP9. Tons of damage onto the first. Doesn't matter that the clip's nearly run dry because he's got a man in the back line, but they find trades.
tabseN could clean this one up, but he's given his position away. He anticipated that smoke would be followed up by a straight-up rush onto the site. Wasn't the case. They slow things down. And a correction, to give Big their credit, it wasn't CS2 just solo peeking. He did have a very well-placed flash from tabseN. Maybe a set play that you can look for in the future when they have an M4 and MP9. That's an awkward drop. A lot of noise. But tabseN now has JDC that's also joined them. They're leaving Crimbo alone. The very capable hands over on B. And Sashi have wasted enough time at this point where Big may feel like there is a rotational element coming through. They're hoping to draw away one of those defenders. But to be fair to Big, they're not biting down on this. And now the grenade is coming in. The incendiary, they're going to know for a fact what's coming up. Loads of low health bars going to get finished off here by JDC. More than likely, Lucky will not be able to do much out of this. Tries to draw him out into the open on 12 hit points. JDC also low, but Crimbo delivers from the side. Quite a costly round, though, for Big, considering it was an eco on the side of Sashi.
Yeah, surprisingly quite scary. The Anubis clipping coming back to haunt him there on the bomb drop, just bounced off the barrels, and that audio cue would have been heard as well, as they were a little bit more tentative for the idea of the wrap off. Obviously, they go for the run out. Felt like you were just going to get ruined by the foul mess as well. So the fact they actually made it a little bit closer. And you can see the idea. Didn't commit to the bomb plant because he thought that he was going to get peeked out from Heaven side. Timing on it. Nearly got himself that 1v1 he was looking for. But Crimbo was always the security. The man to close it. We're living the here and now, though. 7-7, round 15 going live. Weapons to work with for either side. You've got AKs in their palms. And Mister wanted to get the backhand out, swing in towards the site. Nades rolled in case it was a rapid entry following the information play. Crimbo in these kind of angles, this is where he shines bright.
Smoke in his eyes as well, though. May dull down the senses, but instead, it's Mister that flicks the kill switch. The damage may be already done. JDC tagged down to 7, still deals the fatal damage onto Iceberg, allowing Cabby the luxury of the post plant. He himself is also low, and Rigon making moves through on Con. Maybe a bit of an unorthodox position at this standing, and the timing slightly off. They're not anticipating this one. Rigon should take down Cabby, who survives on 4 and gets Rigon out the round. JDC and CS2 both exceptionally low, but both of Sashi on the wrong side of the site getting sprayed down by tabseN. And there will be enough time with the kit to get this defuse in. Big take it 8-7, but man, when Cabby survived and spun on Rigon, I feared the worst for Big.
Oh, I mean, that was a really terrifying one for them. Heads up play from tabseN as well, repping himself in the engagement. We know he's got the skill ceiling for it, and great damage done with the Famous. They both swing in 1 by 1, angle not favoring Queez. getting close on time in the 2v3. tabseN snatches that away. So that's how you get your lead. That's how you get your way back into being in charge of the game here on their CT side. Faster play. Look at this. Quick through mid. tabseN inside a camera. Great flash. Able to engage off the back of it. He's got backup. Oh, the second tap. Coming back in as the bullets batter him. And they're going to push up. They want to get this one done by their hands, not leave it up to the T side. It's only Mr. left, and he's about to be found.
CSN, okay. 4K in the round, some beautiful flashes into peaks. Bit of hype as well in the background. This is great news for Big. If CSN has a good tournament here, it really escalates their chances of making the major. Very important player. Sashi will be calling the timeout. They're looking at an eco here. Maybe some Tech 9s and P250s in play. Maybe a flash or two for a pop flash execute. But we talked about the importance of Big starting strong on their CT side, and they've done exactly that.
Been a few close rounds, but it doesn't matter if they're close if you're the one walking away with them at the end of the day. tabseN there talking to the troops, looking across. And here's the knock-on effect. So Mr. with a scout. 2 Tech 9s, double deeg. A few nades to play with. You got the 4 smokes there, 1 Molotov, single flash. What's the setup into the 17th? How do they play off the back of this? You're looking for the run-out peek in towards dark side, but the scout honed in on that, so his teammate can get close towards it. The other 3 players grouping up outside. That one flashbang is in the hands of Iceberg.
Yeah, watching the back as well, just in case a Big give them a taste of their own medicine with those fast flanks. We saw Iceberg and Mr. going for this time after time until it stopped working. Big did make the adaptation or the adaptive play to it, and Sashi started to actually walk into traps over and over again. The Scout's not really had the opportunity to get involved so far. So Mr. will be repositioning and trying to peek into connector where no one is present. Crimbo playing more of a passive angle in con. Maybe a flash or two for a pop flash execute.
Molly down, looking to slow him down on the push towards dark side. And Crimbo advances back in. 45 seconds left on the timer. They've still got all the smokes. They try and run up, see if they can force the issue on dark. But it's easy picking so far. Molly back round. There's the headshot from tabseN. Only 2 players left here, one by one, being fed to the Lions, Vince, and Big will be able to get themselves a 10th.
Low, but both of Sashi on the wrong side of the site getting sprayed down by tabseN. I don't know if I'm losing my mind, but I'm hearing myself.
Yeah, I was too. I was thinking maybe it wasn't going out on stream, so I was like, I'll just try and tune it out.
Don't worry, mate. A lot of people are like that with my casting. Just tune it out.
All right, good. Fair play. Oh, mate. The voices, Vince. They're in my head. Oh.
Oh, well. 10-7 the score either way. The eco not really amounting to a great deal as anticipated, but this really is the main course. We've had the appetizers, and now the AK's hot and heavy into this. Oh, the grenade's off. That's supposed to land on the staircase. Just off the edge of the wall. Doesn't do much damage, though, and retrieve and... Oh, Queez. I thought he got both.
Yeah, man.
That was so close.
Felt like one of those rounds where he was going to do it all over again. And you need a hero right now. It's getting dangerous. Big getting closer and closer towards the scoreline where they can close this game. That next hero play can't come soon enough, but it's rig on. Puts the blockade down on the entry. Iceberg forced to trade it. Minute on the clock, bomb sneaking up through middle. Smoke there to block it off. Incendiary back in. Crimbo playing this perfectly as well. He's going to have the angle to peek out just as they go past him. Lucky looking for the quick trade, but the AK entirely off. And Iceberg's in the bomb site. Just enough time to get the clip thrown black in as he tries to push. But it's gone. Molly right on target. Crimbo taking him out. 11 rounds for Big now. Surviving with 2.
Did Crimbo just do the chef's kiss thing? I just saw him just kiss his fingers or something. I don't know what that was, but we'll let him off regardless. That was a great round. Those 2 kills he picked up basically secured the round for them, and this 11-7 vast lead. Sashi able to muster together some Galils, but I mean, we are properly down into last chance saloon territory. The curtain is beginning to fade and move closer and closer to making this map a done deal. Big on the precipice of taking the 1-0 and joining the likes of G2, Eternal Fire, and a host of others. Many would have expected it, but let's be honest, Jackie, in that first half, it was looking like Sashi might run away with this game.
I felt like their plot armor in a few of the rounds and were showing us what they're made of. Some great moves from many of the players on this roster, but you've cooled off so much. And all that hype, all that adrenaline might come back to haunt them as the reserves are running low here. It's got to be clean now. You need a string of rounds back to back. On this one, they're finding so much room towards mid that they're confident to push up into the close angle again. Late hits towards A have not been working. Rigon's been good for the defense. This time relatively trapped, but goes back in, still gets his man.
He's just not missing right now with the AWP. AK AWP doesn't make a deal of difference. He's nailing everything ahead of him. Rigon also aggressively in the canals as tabseN will fall to the hands of Cabby, and there's another 2 behind him for a fast hit on the A side. They're going to get this plant down sooner rather than later, but they will be encircled by Big, who have still a bit of utility to play with and a player advantage.
They double up. They're looking for the fight together. They want to push on this one. Walk in. Cabby, good for the first. Even gets away with a second, supported by Quiz. There's no trade on that. Crimbo cleaned up. So considering the fact you had a 1-player advantage on the retake, and it felt like it was good for them to be able to find it. Yeah, that's not happening. Looks like they're calling it a timeout following this round as well. You could see Kakafu there frying up the tea. So you clutch onto the AWP, but the round goes the way of Sashi. Surprising stuff. You know, it felt like you found the push out through mid into the site. No one's home. So an 8th on the board. Still in the game, still fighting. And that's the pause called in. Their first time they've needed a timeout.
What surprised me a little bit, Jackie, on that re-engage, the retake, was a lack of flashbangs. Like, I understand that you may want to try and play the element of surprise and you're not anticipating 2 players to actually push you at that kind of stature. But in a site like A, one of the reasons it's so difficult on CT side is you can quickly get overwhelmed. There's only so many places you can hide. Flashes and mollies are so powerful. And so you have to expect if there's a team behind by 1 player, they're going to try and push. They're going to try and basically punch through and puncture the oncoming retake. So I'm very surprised not 1 flash was thrown in. They had smokes and they had a HE as well. Nothing. Just dry peaks on main and they got utterly eviscerated because of it. Then again, on another day, you don't get double pushed and things go perfectly fine for you. So that's the nature of the beast. Regardless, though, the timeout has come and gone, and Big have enough finances with the saved AWP to go again. Oh, look at this aggression from tabseN. Last time it was Rigon, but he wasn't this fast in this position. Using the smoke, they also push out of A main at the same time. Iceberg, though, gets his man.
Would have been a brilliant opener. It has at least given more space for Rigon. He pushes out, but due to the nature of losing that first pick and being a bit more timid in the round, you have to posture further back. Crimbo's round towards the E-box as well, waiting for the run out on mid. They've been going for this time and time again. So they double up. JDC's here. Sashi, huge round. You got the first pick, you got to find a way to convert it, and Crimbo getting a bit antsy, walking up. Look at the setup from them both. Perfect stereo kills. Trade straight back though. Silence them in the moment. And only Sirison still standing, so they're into the bomb site.
That was a nice opener with both of them getting kills, but like you said, there was just like a really good avenging sort of contingent thrown into the mix as well. Sashi not allowing them to get the double hit and back off. They do punish them for it. Sirison just wants to hold on to this AWP for as long as possible. He was never really in with a chance. They left him by himself to defend the B site. So Sashi tie it to 1 closer round. Just 2 now between the teams. Pressure beginning to mount just a tad. I do like the ideas, though. I like how proactive Big were. I like how aggressive they were. It backfired, but Iceberg nearly lost out on that trade to tabseN. If he dies to tabseN, that totally changes because the A main player will have way more impact on pushing out as well. So that was like a really key moment. I think he also HE'd his own smoke, if I'm not mistaken, or the CT smoke to afford him that luxury. So unlucky for Big, but at least they're trying to take the fight to the T's. And that's often how Anubis comes down.
Yeah, that was the call off the back of the pause. They thought that that was the winning formula, right, with the two players. Like you say, a different day could have been us praising it, them getting another round, being sat on match point.
Yeah.
Instead, obviously, Rigon, a lot more pressure on him. He knows he's kind of got to give up the goose on that one. So Sashi, another round to the great up. Can they still tie this up? Can they still come back into this game? You were leading at one point, but it's felt so long since that point in the matchup. Nades thrown out. Hefty investment of utility towards mid-side as well to make it uncomfortable because the sheer amount of times we've seen Sashi taking space here.
No aggressive shenanigans this time on the side of Big. Decent damage, though, inflicted to Mister. A HE puts him down to 58, but mid-control established early on. Is tabseN really going to go for this white swing? What? Cabby gets destroyed. tabseN lost nothing. That's the same Cabby that was lighting up the scoreboard in the first half at 6-0. Molotov's down, Crimbo's the dead man.
Iceberg with 2. Clap straight back in. Oh, a miraculous round, and tabseN's repositioning. I thought that was where it was going to go so horrifically wrong for him, but he's still alive, living on borrowed time. What? tabseN! This is a 3K of unbelievable stature. And he's still in it. Tucks into the back of the site. Assisted by Rigon. And Mister, you might not be long for this world. 25 seconds on the clock. tabseN waiting for the swing, but Rigon gets it done. What is that round? tabseN rolling back the years. That's mental.
Anubis itself is looking down and favoring tabseN on that round. That is the only explanation I can think, that not only does he get the opening pick to Cabby for free, but then on low health, takes 2 more players down. For all intents and purposes, this round looked like it was over once Iceberg got those 2 from Con. That is absurd. tabseN, an absolute phenom in this round, and CS2 early doors in round 22 has put them a huge kill ahead. Big maybe about to close this map down.
Lightning fast hit towards mid from the AWPer for the CT side of Big, but Iceberg trying to do it once again. Clip runs dry. Only the 1. No successive kill. And you only got a trio remaining now into the 22nd round. Lose this one, it's all over, boys. The Anubis dream is done for. They go 0-1. Big start it off nice at the RMR. It's just about closing it. Rigon. He might be walking into his demise here. It's being held by Lucky with the reposition, the timing on it. The stopwatch play. He's going to be kicking himself. If there was a chance to get a pick and maybe resituate things. It's dead and buried. Only 2 players left. You get the info that he's backed off, but he stays alive. That's all he needed. Just tuck in, play for time. 44 seconds.
The only thing going in the favor of Sashi at this point is they still have control over the bomb and a bit of utility to work with. Rigon spotted. Need to try and deal with him, but he's able to muster up the strength for 1 and significant damage to Queasy. CS2's not baited out by the jump spot, but this time around he nails the shot. And Big come back from a deficit in the first half for a clinical CT side.
Yeah, Big fighting, you can see. They're all very happy with that performance. It was looking a bit dicey. At one point, Sashi ahead, but in the end, Big were able